where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. If this is your first time checking out a video, please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. We're watching a clip of First Things First, talking about who's got the best chances to win the NBA title. I have not watched this clip. I could just see in the title where it says Celtics, Bucks challenge Nuggets atop the NBA title pie. Warriors given 0% chance. I guess it's going to be like a pie chart, because I guess he always does his rankings, either like the King of the Hill, the Mahomes Mountain, and all that. And so I guess they're doing the title pie. There's not really much to talk about. Let's just jump right in and see what he has to say.
Including me. Including Wild. So, 12 teams have slices.
Okay.
18 don't. Here are the teams that were the closest, but left, I guess, not on the cutting room floor. Cavs, Warriors, Pelicans, Kings. Wow. And listen, I just can't see a scenario where any of these teams win the title. You're a even 1% chance for any of those teams.
Okay, I'll save my
please
commentary.
Do. 1%er.
I think the Warriors technically have a chance. I don't think they will, but they have a chance. The Kings no, New Orleans no, and Cleveland no. So I agree with that part.
New York Knicks. Maybe I've been spending too much.
See, like, that's what's insane. The Knicks have 0 chance at winning. 0. Let me say it one more time. 0% chance. Sorry, Knicks fans. 0% chance.
Much time around Ramsey, I don't know. But Jalen Brunson, good playoff performer, getting healthy maybe at the right time. Maybe because Tibbs drove them into the ground early, they missed time, and now they'll be ready for the postseason. And given the fact that the NBA is now allowing teams to defend and be physical more, maybe that is actually good for the Knicks. 1%, 2%, the Mavs. This is purely based on Luka. Okay. 33, 9, and 8. Those are his playoff career averages. 33, 9, and 8. We haven't seen Luka and Kyrie on a playoff run together because obviously last year they missed the playoffs again. 2%. If they run this postseason 50 times in a simulation, does Luka just get red hot for 2 months? One of them? Okay, 3%. The Clippers. This was halved in the last week once we saw Kawhi limp off the court. James Harden, the post-All-Star swoon, classic one, Wilds. Yep. 17 and 8 on 41% from the field. So, but because we did see them have a 6-week stretch where they looked as good as just about anybody, can't be dismissed. 4%, Minnesota. Yes, they're silly. But they are a team that has given Denver some trouble. It's hard to give Denver trouble. They're a team that has, if Karl Anthony Towns comes back, we don't know. Ant-Man, really, because of Towns' absence, has been able to take the full control of that team. Maybe that'll be good if Cat comes back and Ant is the clear number one. Give him 4%. 5%, OKC. They've got a legit MVP candidate, young and exciting team, and the original Young Thunder. They went from 50 wins to 55 wins to what would have been 58 wins in a regular season. It was a round one Lakers loss followed by a conference finals loss followed by a finals loss for the KD, Harden, Russ Big Three.
What does that have to do with anything right now?
I wonder where this team is in that progression.
Different players, different coaching, different NBA completely.
The first Thunder were. Round 50 wins, losing round one, but we'll see. Well, if they get the Lakers in round one, yeah, I think in that matchup could happen. We'll see. All right, speaking of
if they get the Lakers in round one, they will beat the Lakers. This idea, first off, the fact that he's going to put the Lakers above Minnesota and OKC is comically absurd.
Lakers 6%, LeBron, length, Anthony Davis, and the fact that in the playoffs your rotations are shortened, which means fewer decisions for Darvin Ham, and fewer Darvin Ham decisions is good for the Los Angeles.
Which means more minutes for Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who show that they cannot withstand that at this point in their careers, and in the playoffs they need the help, they need to get off their feet, and they can't, especially in the playoffs, and especially against a young team like OKC. Not happening yet.
7% Phoenix. This is purely a bet on Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant, he and Giannis are having the two most underrated great seasons by all-time great players that I can remember.
There we go.
And so
clip that off and send it to JJ Redick.
Why would I send it to him?
Because JJ Redick wants us being nicer to Kevin Durant.
Oh, listen, I turned over a new leaf about Kevin Durant a couple years ago. I decided, you know what? We've crossed the Rubicon on KD criticism. There we go. So 7% for the Thunder, 8% for Philly. Maybe Joel Embiid being free. Remember how everyone said, oh, the Lakers won because LeBron got those 2 months off. He was fully fresh for the playoffs.
Everybody did.
But the for Philly could Embiid, if it's the reporting's right, that he's supposed to come back a couple weeks before the end of the regular season. Use those couple weeks to get in shape and then get back on the tier.
Remember that LeBron took those 2 weeks.
I said this the moment Embiid went down. Don't be stealing my take, Nick Wright. He watches this channel. I heard that he watches this channel. I said this. I said the moment that Embiid went down and I saw his meniscus, as you guys know, I've told you I've torn my meniscus, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So I know exactly what it's like to tear your meniscus and get it repaired, not removed or trimmed. That this will actually potentially be a good thing because he'll be able to make a full recovery and he'll be able to get into game shape and he'll go into the playoffs and he'll be healthy and he'll be rested and ready to go. But the problem with Embiid is not that he chokes in the playoffs or anything like that. It's that, one, he's had very unfortunate luck with being actual injured, breaking his freaking skull and his knee and anything else in between, as well as the season just wears him down. The dude is a monster, okay? He's a monster, and unfortunately, he has a body similar to that of, like, say, like an AD, where they just don't have the ability to, you know, play so much without being hurt or being run down. That's just the way it is. Some players have that. You know, LeBron James obviously clearly had that in his prime, and someone like an Embiid or AD for that matter don't. And it's just luck. It's not lack of work. Embiid is jacked and a monster, puts in so much work and cares so much. He is not lazy. He does everything he can to play. Everything. Literally playing with concussions, playing with broken bones in his eye socket multiple times, his orbital bone. You know, I mean, he cares so much. So this is not a lack of conditioning or a lack of caring. This will help him. This is why LeBron James and AD won in the bubble, because they got all that extra time off. So they were able to be fully recovered. Didn't have to travel. They were in the bubble. No fans, no nothing. I 1000% believe that based off of all my understanding of, you know, the human body and exercise physiology and recovery and kinesiology, all things that I've studied quite extensively over the years, both informally and formally, that, you know, huge part. So I think that's why I said, actually just last week or whenever it was, that I do not count out I was going to say the Eagles and then I was going to say the Celtics. Do not count out the Sixers. They absolutely 1000%, if Embiid comes back and is 100%, doesn't get injured or banged up again in the playoffs, and can actually be healthy, the Sixers have a true chance, and at a minimum, make the Eastern Conference Finals. Mark it here. I said it.
Off that one time too.
Okay,
anytime he's rested.
They didn't win the title that year, Wilds. Next, Miami, 9%.
The finals.
My faith is dropping. They've lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
This is the
Miami
time
Heat.
of year where they're supposed to be turning it on. With that said, I still, even with my faith dropping, probably have them with a greater share of title pie than anybody else would once they, you know, steal this segment the way they've stolen all of our other wonderful segments. And I trust Jimmy. I trust Spo. The team should get healthier. Now to the top 3. Boston at 10%. I'll be honest. They deserve a bigger slice.
Okay.
I just can't get there.
Why?
I just don't trust their coach at all.
He's playing.
And when the coach is like indignantly like, yeah, damn straight I'll block another player's shot. What do you expect from me? That's how we do it. It's just silliness. And I really like Tatum. But when he's going to have to go up against these other juggernauts, I don't know that I trust him. But they have the point differential, the record, the starting lineup, all of a team that should be a 30% slice. 20%, Milwaukee Bucks. Weird mental spot for them, which is they know the coach, their best players, everyone, they're only going to be judged by the postseason.
Yep.
And they know they can't catch Boston. So I don't necessarily expect them to look amazing throughout the rest of the regular season because they know for them the entirety of whether or not this was considered success or failure is going to be based on how they do for a couple weeks in May and June, if they get to June. And then the biggest slice, but probably not as big as Wiles would like, the Denver Nuggets. They're on a tear. They clearly want the 1 seed. Joker's being Joker.
Yeah.
The team is mostly healthy. And right now, they look like the scariest team in the league.
Pretty good.
That is the first edition of Title Pie.
Solid title pie. If we had, the only way this could be better is if we had some
actual pie to eat.
Yeah, maybe next week.
So, okay. I mean, we kind of talked about it as the clip was rolling. I would honestly put the Lakers at 0% chance. Honestly. It's not to say that LeBron James and AD, and, aren't good players, and that LeBron's just a scrub, and this, that. They just cannot withstand the playoffs, okay? His body, he's already talked about how his ankle's in pain, and it's just from wear and tear, okay? Those things only get worse in the playoffs, okay? Because they do shorten the rotations, the minutes, everything. The game is harder, more physical. You're playing more, you're traveling more. It's just more intense. And at this point, they still need LeBron to be the king, for them to have any type of chance. And he cannot be the king. He could be the king for like a game, but then the next game, not so much. And same thing with AD. AD can barely play 2 halves. And OKC, I'm not going to say that I think like OKC and Minnesota have this great chance at winning the championship, but they have a legit chance. I do believe that. And I think their success more so depends on seeding and who they end up playing. Do they get to play the Lakers in the first round? The first round, do they have to play Denver or something like that, right? Because I think if OKC gets to play the Lakers and then beats the Lakers, you get some experience, you get some excitement, you get some belief, like, that's right, we can do this. Like, it just changes things. And I think I already talked about the Sixers, obviously. The Suns, I love KD. KD is one of my favorite basketball players of all time, and I think he's amazing. But I just don't know if they'll be able to bring it. I don't know if they have the size and strength and the youth of a Kevin Durant, because they need Kevin Durant to be the king. They need KD to be KD from 2017, and that's just not who KD is right now. He can have flashes of that, but he's just not that player anymore. And if you're still waiting on Devin Booker to be the leader, to be able to take charge and be able to do big things, don't hold your breath here. I would say Dallas Mavericks have 0 chance at winning. The Clippers, especially if Kawhi's not 100%, 0 chance. Knicks, 0 chance. Miami Heat, I guess I'll give them some chance, but I don't think they have. Make no mistake about it, the Miami Heat were a great story last season, but Giannis was injured. Giannis hurt his back or whatever, right? And so Giannis wasn't playing. But the Bucks would have beaten Miami, most definitely. And then Miami Heat clearly showed that they were completely on a different level than the Denver Nuggets. So it wasn't even competitive, which it wasn't even fun to watch. So, and I do think that the top 3 teams would be the Celtics, the Bucks, and Denver to win it all. But I will say this, since I was talking about the Sixers, if the Sixers are 100%, like if they're full strength, Maxi's back full strength, and Joel Embiid is back full strength, I would put them above the Celtics. I really would. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Philly fan. I would not, I do not just unconditionally say the teams that I like are going to win or whatnot. I really don't. But I just, Joel Embiid was playing out of his mind. And now the Sixers got better players who haven't even been able to play with Joel Embiid. Nick Nurse is a great coach. He wasn't even the coach that I originally wanted, honestly. And so I've been very happy and pleased with him. He's obviously respected and they actually listened to him. He's an alpha, the true alpha. And so I would say that, honestly, I definitely have them above the Celtics with Joel Embiid. And I would have to say that if you forced me to really say what do you have, I would say I think it's a genuine toss-up between the Sixers, the Celtics, and the Bucks. I really do. I think it depends on who plays who at what time, who's fully healthy. Does that role player knock down that 3 on the road that gives them the win, or does it rim out? And that's what happens in basketball, especially in the playoffs. Does that role player knock down 3 threes on the road in the fourth quarter that you're just like, what? Who even is that guy? The guy that only people know if it's your team or if you're a diehard basketball fan. That happens like virtually every single year. And sometimes it goes down and sometimes it does not. And so to me, that's how some of those series end up getting, won. So I really think it ends up being a toss-up between the Sixers, the Celtics and the Bucks. And I think it's anyone to grab it. Honestly, I really, really do. Does Dame really start to catch fire, to connect, and to really, have good games, or does he have a game where he goes cold and he's 1 for 8, from the 3? If that happens, and you're playing against the Celtics or full strength Sixers with Joel Embiid, you're not winning. You're just not. You're not going to be able to overcome that. So I'm really, really excited, especially for the Eastern Conference, but also the Western Conference, because I'm really excited to see what can OKC do. Does KD have anything left in the tank? And how sharp does Denver look? When Denver fully decides to flip the switch, are they really like, yo, we are elite. We are going to win the next 2-3, finals. We are a dynasty. Get ready. I'm really interested to see what they can do. But I think probably we're going to see some incredibly fun, competitive games as long as Joel comes back with the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Sixers. To me, that is going to be awesome to watch. And Denver will probably be able to take advantage of the fact that that's going to be so much more physical and potentially longer series that will then wear down players like a Giannis or Joel Embiid. But I'm pulling, obviously being a Sixers fan, I think the league needs to have a Joel Embiid versus Jokic NBA Finals. The fans are so fired up. The Denver Nuggets fans hate Joel Embiid, and the Sixers fans hate Jokic. Even though Jokic and Joel Embiid have great respect for each other. They like each other. They're not enemies. Yes, they go back and forth, and they want to beat each other. They have tremendous respect and love for each other. No ifs, ands, or buts. They are not enemies. They don't hate each other at all. They have complete respect. So that's what's I always find funny. I'm a Sixers fan. I don't hate Jokic at all. I love basketball. I love entertainment, and Jokic is one of the best. So I'm not going to just be a random hater. And it's always weird that the Denver Nuggets hate on Joel as Joel literally putting up like 70 points on defensive players of the year, which is just, that's not luck. But I think that's what the NBA, I've said this now multiple times because I really do believe it. The NBA is in dire straits. They're hurting so badly. We need fun, exciting, in your face, back and forth, fans going nuts NBA Finals. And the only way I really see that is an Embiid versus Jokic, because there is that battle of the, who's better, who deserves, MVP, who deserves this, who deserves that. I think you can kind of maybe get that with a Giannis, but I just think Giannis brings a different energy with regards to that. I think that will still be fun and exciting to watch. But Giannis brings, Embiid is more divisive, right? There are more people that hate Joel Embiid than they do Giannis. That's just a fact. So I think that's where then it just becomes part. Not to mention, I think the Denver Nuggets hate Joel Embiid way more than they hate Giannis, and that's not even close. So I think that's what would make it, a lot more of a, potential to just really explode. And I think even casual fans will be able to get really behind that. But, don't discount the Celtics. I just, the more I watch the Celtics, I understand that they're blowing out all these teams and the point differential and all that fun stuff. But, I'm just not convinced that they will get over the hump. I've said this before. They have some nice pieces. They improved their team technically from last year, but what they needed to do was they needed to add someone like KP, but still keep. I said this actually both about the Bucks and the Celtics, that both those teams made moves and improved their team, but they needed to do it in a way where they still kept what also made their team special. The Bucks had to give up Drew Holiday. The Celtics had to give up Smart, and so all of these things happened, and they needed to do what, say, the Warriors did, where it's like, hey, no, we're going to get KD, but we're not giving up anyone that's really important. So we get significantly better rather than just slightly better. And to me, that's what happened with the Celtics and the Bucks. And so, yeah, it's just kind of a wait and see at this point. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. I read every single comment. So whether you agree or disagree, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.